Hello, welcome back to my channel. So today we will be talking about something super creepy. You guys know how I love my conspiracy theories, so if you are a conspiracy theorist out there, make sure you like this video to see more like them. We will be taking a little adventure through the walk of the legend of the black-eyed children. Now, many would say that this is not a legend because there are tons and tons of stories out there of people who have claimed to have seen these mysterious children, who have interacted with these children, and believe it or not, bitch, I will be reading some of those stories off for you today, right in this video, so stay tuned. Now, just a little background on these black-eyed children. This is an American contemporary legend. Most people report seeing a little boy and a little girl together, but in some stories that's not the case. They are said to have super pale skin and piercing black soulless eyes. Like, it's the creepiest thing ever. They have all black eyes. It's so fucking weird. And most of the time people see them either hitchhiking or they show up right on your fucking doorstep. So in 1996, a reporter from Texas reported 2 encounters with black-eyed children. I have the story and I'm going to read that off a little bit later, but just know that that is our first sighting. But others have said they've been around since the 1950s, which is a pretty long time considering that it is 2020 and we're still seeing ghost children with black eyes and nobody has any fucking explanation. The Daily Star, which is a popular magazine in the UK, not only did they run off one story, but they actually had 3 different stories where they featured these black-eyed children. So can we really consider it a legend at this point when media sources are even recognize their existence? Now, also in the UK, at the Four Crosses, a little, I think they call it a pub, but we call it like a bar out here. This place has been on the market for many years. Like, nobody wants to buy it, and the reason for this is because spectators have reported seeing a little girl. They say she's around age 10 or 11 in tattered clothing. Creepiest thing about it is she has soulless black eyes. Cannon Chase, this is a forest. A woman and her daughter reported hearing crying outside of the forest. Interestingly enough, this lady decided to take not only herself and her child into the woods to investigate, quote unquote. I don't know if I'd fucking be investigating that shit. Apparently they were approached by a little girl. They said she was also age 10 to 11, interestingly enough. The woman asked the little girl if she was alright or if she needed help. Apparently, the little girl just stood there and slowly lowered her arms to reveal her black eyes. Now, I don't know how true these stories are or their origins. Like I said, this is a lot of folktale, but people are still seeing these children to date, so you be the judge. Also, in these Cannon Chase woods, there has been reports of murder, specifically 3 little girls who were murdered in the forest. It is said that the little girl that the woman saw that day happens to be one of the victims of that brutal murder. Now, for the more recent content, a lot of people have reported catching video evidence on trail cams of mysterious children walking alone in the woods late at night with obviously no parents, no reason to be there, and reports of black eyes have shown there. So now I will be reading off the story of Brian Brithel for you guys. If you do remember, he is the reporter from Texas that I talked about earlier in this video of his encounters from 1996. On a spring or summer evening in 1996 at 9:30 p.m., Brithel was making his way to his internet service provider Camelot Communications office on the North 1st Street in Albine, Texas, to pay off his bills. As he innocently scribbled on a check in the dimming light area before the theaters, intended to drop it in the office's drop slot, little did he know that this was to be the most frightening night ever. He was seated in his car at the parking lot when two boys aged 9 to 12 came knocking at his window. The boys, as he described them, were a somewhat suave, olive-skinned, curly-headed young man. I'm like trying to picture that and I fucking can't, so. The boys wore hooded pullovers. The first boy explained that the two of them had came to watch a premiere of Mortal Kombat at the theater, but had forgotten their money in their mother's house. The boys tried to convince him with assurance, like, it wouldn't take long. They were just two little boys. They didn't have a gun or anything. Brithel subconsciously reached out to open the car door when he suddenly broke his vision of the boy and came to notice his coal black eyes. Eyes he described as the sort of eyes one sees these days on an alien or a bargain basement vampire on late night television. That's pretty fucking weird. Soulless orbs like two great swaths of starless night. Trying to keep his behavior normal, Brithel muttered a few excuses, pulled at the gear, and rushed away with his car. So he just fucking left those kids there? What if they actually fucking needed help? Did they have black contacts back then? Like, what if they had like those contacts that you put in your eye and it just makes your eyes all black? And they're just trying to fucking like get some spook out of some old ass man. As he stared at the rearview mirror, he found that the children had just vanished within seconds. Brian Brithel, 1996. Whoa! Okay, so the guy pulls up. He's trying to pay his phone bill, it said. Let me go back and look at the receipts here. Oh, internet bill. He went to go pay his internet bill. He fucking like stops at the movies to use the light to write the check. Like, why is he paying the bill so late? I guess maybe he just got off work or something. I feel like maybe we're missing like a portion of the story because I don't know. But and then he see these two little boys, same thing, pale skin, and they start talking to him. He gets an eerie feeling and then just barely realizes that both boys have black eyes. A little skeptical on the story. I mean, it seems like a good story, like a good catch, and a good folktale to maybe like tell your children like right before they go to bed so they get all like fucking scared. No, I'm just kidding, don't do that. But it just seems a little cliche to me. Like, pull up, you know, drop top, talk to this nigga, he has dark eyes, get fucking scared, drive the fuck off, and they're fucking gone when you look back. Okay, so the next couple stories that I have for you guys are from Reddit. This happened to me back in 1984, and it's still fresh in my memory. I was in the car with my cousin in the back seat. My aunt was driving. My cousin and I were around 8 years old. We were goofing off, laughing. It was very dark outside. I looked over at the car next to us, and I saw a girl around the same age as us. She was staring at us with black eyes, and her face had no expression. I felt a wave of complete terror and looked away. but it will always stick with me. Reddit user numbered 76. This one I can actually see happening, because I feel like when paranormal things happen, it happens like that. Like it's like a, bitch, what the fuck just happened? Did that just actually happen? And then you're all like, what the fuck, bitch? So I can actually see that. You're going, you're driving, you look over, you see some creepy ass kid in somebody else's car. Like whether the woman knew or not, she had a child in the back of her car with some creepy ass eyes, probably not. But it's pretty reasonable. It was a quick, short, easy story. I'm gonna give that one a thumbs up. You let me know what you think. I have a story. This one may take a while to read, so sit back and enjoy. I was with my boyfriend a couple months back, relaxing and enjoying our time together as couples most likely do. As the day progressed, we got tired and we took a nap. I woke up to my boyfriend freaking out, and I got startled by it. I think I'd be startled too. Like, you wake up, and that's not a very good feeling either, to wake up and experience something traumatizing. He brought me to the door, and I looked outside, and I saw a young boy and girl, roughly around age 10 and 11. See, there we go. There we get the boy and the girl together at somebody's doorstep. Let me just tell you something. Don't let these two little motherfuckers show up at my house. They were pale with dirty blonde hair, most likely siblings. The little boy's hair was long enough to cover up his eyes, and the girl's hair was about shoulder length and had side bangs. Interesting little detail. They looked at the ground and spoke. "We are lost. May we please come in?" No bitch. My sensitive ass let them in, and right as they spoke, I could tell something was up. They had a sad, lonely tone in their voice, so I let them in. What the fuck? What? I don't understand that. I can get that it's like two children and everyone's like, oh, like we shouldn't leave the children behind, no child left behind apparently in this situation. But where are their fucking parents? Like, it's nighttime and you people are just like, yeah, let me just let two random kids in my house. No. Right when they stepped foot in my house, I felt doomed, and I had a weird gut feeling about this. I just can't explain. Well, no fucking joke. Then I saw their eyes, as black as night, and they looked me in my eyes, and I felt taken over. So this goes back to my theory of these children being demonic or being demonically possessed, because why would you have the sudden feeling of being taken over or the feeling of fear? That's really interesting. Another thing that I might add, if I feel strange about something or I have a fear coming over me, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to trust my instincts and not fucking open the door. Like, I'm calling the police. Where are your parents? My boyfriend noticed and grabbed me as soon as he could. The kids ran up the stairs in my house, and my parents weren't home, so we didn't know what to do. That's what your dumbass did, for real. And your mama and daddy weren't home and you had your nigga over. All I could hear from up there was the ruckus I had heard. Picture frames falling and everything. We decided to stay in the house and hide it out, but it lasted all night. By the morning, the kids were gone. We still had no idea where they went, but now we knew to never open the door to young kids. Reddit user, Scary Stories, 1991. I'm gonna give this story a thumbs down because it just seems a little cliche, kind of like the first story. And I believed it up until the point where it was like, they stayed there all night and I heard all this ruckus and we just kind of hid out. Like if somebody's in my house, I'm not gonna just kind of hide out and stay in my house where they're upstairs doing who knows fucking what, throwing shit, breaking my fucking shit, touching my fucking shit. Like I don't like that. I just feel like it was a good story until the ending. Also, why didn't this girl's boyfriend do some shit about it? So this brings us to our final story of the black-eyed children. I hope you all have enjoyed this little conspiracy theory. Please like this video, please subscribe and comment if you would like to see more videos. So back in the summer of 2016, I was home alone because my parents were at work and my siblings were at their dad's house. I was watching TV and I heard a knock on the door. I got up to answer it and I saw a little girl with sunglasses on. I instantly felt uneasy, like something bad was going to happen. "Who are you?" I asked. "I want to come inside," she said. "Why?" "I need to come inside. I don't feel comfortable that my parents aren't home. You can ask my neighbor." Then she pulled off her sunglasses, revealing pitch black eyes. "Please, I need to come inside," she said. Then I started to open the door, but I immediately caught myself and slammed it shut. I then went around my house to make sure all the doors and windows were locked. I was so freaked out that I didn't sleep that night. This was the first time I've ever told anyone of that day. Reddit user ChampManLexi217. I think the fact that they were giving like kind of a true encounter, it wasn't too like drastically long and it wasn't, you could tell that there was no fillers. I think that actually happened. And I would actually tell this person, "I'm so sorry that you had that experience and I'm so glad that you were smart enough to not open your fucking door like the other people did." All in all, this was a great conspiracy theory video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I will see you all soon. Remember, just subscribe, okay?